Hey guys, Grant from Four Wheeling in New South Wales. Happy Easter everyone. I know it's a bit of a different Easter this year with the lockdown and isolation and all that with the coronavirus, but obviously hope everyone had a good Easter long weekend anyway. It's only what you make of it. We did a bit of camping out in the backyard, set up the tent and the swag and the Drifta fire pit, and had a camp out there last night and the night before, so yeah, it was actually pretty good fun. The girls got up and we cooked some toast over the fire pit for breakfast, and yeah, it was great. So I was going to do a camp cook up Friday night, however the wind outside was just unbelievable. It was like a cyclone was coming through, so I didn't want embers flying around everywhere and a bit irresponsible lighting the fire in the wind, so we didn't do a fire Friday night, but we had one Saturday night and we cooked a whole chook in the camp oven. First time I've done it. It turned out pretty good actually. The bottom was a little bit burnt. There was a bit too much heat in the fire pit, but we'd sort of running out of time later in the afternoon, so we had to sort of put it on and cook it pretty quick. So still yum though. Did a garlic butter over the top of it, and so I'll put a shot of that in here anyway so you can see it. It was really good.
There is the finished product. Oh yeah, chicken, roast veggies. Mandy did inside in the oven. Chicken's a little bit burnt, but it smells pretty good, so we're going to get into it. Got the fire cranking. Got the tent set up. Swag on this side. Going to be a nice evening. Not a cloud in the sky, no wind compared to last night. The big tree in the background there, it's not even moving. Yeah, it's a little bit cool. Nice fire though.
And today I am going to do the chicken Mornay recipe. We were going to cook it up last night. As I said, we did the whole chook instead and thought we'll do this for lunch today. So got the fire pit out the back going now. It's got plenty of heat there, so I've just popped inside. I'm going to preheat the little camp oven and throw the ingredients in, and then in about probably, I'd say maybe 20 minutes or so, once the heat's died down a bit in the fire pit, we'll put it out the back, cook it up. Only takes about sort of 25 minutes, half hour usually to cook. So we'll do that, we'll sit out the back. Got to pack the tent and everything up still in the swag, so I'll do that while lunch is getting cooked on the fire pit. So yeah, I'm going to rip into it guys. So this is chicken Mornay. It's a take on the old tuna Mornay, which has been a long favourite in the 70s and 80s. Just doing something different. Really easy recipe, bugger all ingredients. So it's basically a couple of chicken breasts. We've got some cream of mushroom soup, bit of chicken stock powder, tin of good Aussie grown corn, so a big tin of that going in, and tin of beans, sliced beans, good Aussie grown beans. So we'll bung those in towards the end of it once it's fairly ready to go. So we'll put the chicken in, the stock and the soup, and we'll get into it. Cheers guys. And don't forget, preheat the oven first. So cheers guys, we'll throw it all into the pot and get it going. Oh, and don't forget to, with your camp oven, it always works better if you preheat it first. Just get a bit of heat in the oven, and then that way when you put everything in, it's not drawing the heat out when you sit it out on your fire. And in case you're wondering, 4 days without a shave, I'm feeling a bit like Bear Grylls, hence the beanie. The hair's wild after sleeping in the swag last night. Mentioning the beanie, these are so cool, I might do a little short video on these. Fantastic, built-in headlight, rechargeable, $8 at Kmart. I'll put a video on that separately anyway in the product review playlist. Cheers guys. Okay guys, quick edit. I said cream of mushroom soup before. That was the other recipe we did, sorry. It's cream of chicken. So cream of chicken and corn soup mix goes in the pot. We'll bung that in. Now the other thing that I did say a can of sliced beans, but if you can, instead of going a can of sliced beans, because they've been sitting obviously in water and they do go a bit mushy, especially if you put them in too early, you're best off using either frozen beans or even better just some fresh beans. Obviously give them a wash up, slice them up and throw those in towards the end, basically towards the end of it cooking. So what we're going to do is, because I've got tin beans, as I said, if they've been sitting in the can for a little while with a fair bit of water in them, they might go a bit slushy and mushy at the end. So we'll put those in at the very end when we're ready to serve it up. We'll drain our corn, throw that in, and then we'll be right to go for lunch out the back. So just give that a bit of a stir around.
pop in our 2 big chicken breasts. Sorry about that jingle and sound. I've got a bloody wind chime above my head here, and every time I turn around I headbutt it. The joys of being tall, I guess. So we'll throw 2 big chicken breasts in like so, and then what you do at the end, obviously once it's all cooked and that chicken softens right up, you just grab a fork or 2 forks and you just shred it all up. I'll pop in a little bit of stock. Hopefully that lighting's bright enough there, guys. The globe in the range hood has decided to pack it in overnight, which is always handy. So probably just a teaspoon or so, depending on how salty you like your food, I guess. Put 1.5 in, just give that a little bit of a stir around, just to mix that flavour through. And then we'll take this straight out the back, and I've got those coals dying down out there, so put it on the fire. And what I will do after too, I'll show you just how easy it is if you keep your camp oven seasoned up with a bit of oil and you season it properly. I'll show you how easy these things are to wash up. They'd have to be one of the best cooking, utensils that you can have camping. So you just always got to remember to, once you're finished, wash it out, pat it down with a bit of paper towel or an old tea towel to dry it, and then give it a light spray of oil just to stop it rusting. And yeah, you look after your camp oven, it'll look after you for years. So cheers guys, I'm going to throw that out the back now, and about half hour we'll be eating with a cold beverage out in the backyard. Alright, so we've got it on over the fire there. Nice bit of heat. I reckon 20 minutes and should be done. Alright, we will shred this up. We'll shred this up. We're going to throw in another can of soup just to make it a bit more saucy. We wouldn't have wanted to leave it on too much longer, otherwise it'd start to burn. The rice is done inside, so we'll grab the rice out. We've got the corn and beans there to go in. Oh, look at that. If only you had smell-o-vision. You'll have to try this recipe, Buck. It's right up your alley, mate. It's so simple to do. Bloody delicious. It's a really good winter camping meal. Nice and hearty, warm, get a cold night camping, and oh, this stuff's unreal. Alright, so that's all that shredded. Hopefully if there's enough left over I might have some lunch at work tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen. Those little dark bits, that's just a bit of skin that where the chicken's stuck to the bottom of the pot. If you don't stir it soon enough or regularly enough, you get sort of hot spots, but that'll just add to the flavour anyway. Now we'll chuck in our corn, drained, that's that. Beans, also drained. Yeah, last time we did it we left the corn juice in and it was juicier, but it was a bit watery too. You lose a little bit of the flavour. I've forgotten, just tipped the whole can of corn in. Alright, so there's that. And we're just going to throw in one more can of the soup just to make it a bit saucier. In a sauce kind of way, not the way. Goes in like so. Not sure how they get cream out of chicken for cream of chicken soup, but a bit like chicken salt. Which chickens do they use to make chicken salt? Alright, we'll give that a bit of a stir and just pop that back on the stove for 5-10 minutes, roughly. And we'll be serving up over some rice. Bit of cream in as well at the last minute. Throw that on some rice and done. The other thing that we normally do is sprinkle some potato chips on top. And if you do it on a camp oven and you put some coals or a hot stick on the lid, it makes the chips go crunchy on the top. And some cheese too. You can't forget a bit of melted cheese on the top, which we'll do at the last minute. Alrighty, let's get this back on the fire. Still plenty of heat in that, so that'll do a treat. Done. Alrighty, that's about 10 minutes with the extra soup in. Oh yeah. Oh, that smells so yum. Now we were debating if that's too much corn and beans, too many veggies, but if you're after a good hearty meal in the middle of winter camping, you cannot beat that. Have that and you'll sleep like a log. Now a bit of cream. Bung some cream in. About a, I don't know, a bit more than 2/5 and not quite 4/8. 2 cups of cream.
Right, your fork now.
Alrighty. taste test. Yum. That is so yum. We'll just serve that up with some rice. We're just going to sprinkle some cheese on the top of it when we plate it up, so I'll go and grab some plates. Smells bloody yum. Rice, we'll throw on some of that on top. Oh yeah, melted cheese. Yeah. Through this bit. And then on top, a bit of crushed up chips, chicken chips, and grated cheese. Bung that on there, a bit on there. That's like the icing on the cake. Enjoy with a cold beverage of your choice. The tongs are very professional. And that is a done job.
A little bit more, please.
Look at that, eh? Super easy and super delicious. Bit of salt and pepper, and enjoy. Looks yum and smells even better. That is one thing to note, depending on your fridge situation when you're camping, frozen beans do work better than the tinned ones, or even fresh beans are better again, because the tinned ones do turn a little bit mushy in there. So just a tip anyway, guys. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do here is wash this pot up. Now I'm doing it inside on the stove top because our fire out the back has started to go down a fair way and probably not enough heat in it. So I'm going to do this on the stove top just to show you. I've just boiled the kettle quickly. Basically, if I fill the water line up to sort of almost the top of wherever the food is on the sides of the pan or the camp oven, and then put it on a low heat for anywhere from sort of 5 to 10 minutes with the lid on, what it effectively does is simmer all that food off the sides and anything that's in the bottom as well. Okay, so just give that a light stir. And this is what I was saying on a previous clip. If you season your ovens properly and you wash them up pretty well straight after using them, it makes keeping them clean so much easier. Like it literally, they're self-cleaning almost. So I'll just give that a light stir. You can already feel the stuff on the bottom already coming off that was, you know, burnt on there. I'll pop the lid on, and I reckon, yeah, 5 or 10 minutes on low heat. I'll come back and I'll show you. You can literally just wipe it clean. You don't need any harsh detergents, you don't need pot scours or anything like that. It literally will just fall off there. Because I seasoned it properly in the first place, and also because I do clean it pretty well straight after cooking, I don't leave it and let food obviously stick in there, because then you've got to scrape it off, and then the scraping wrecks the coating inside, etc. So yeah, you just got to spend 5 or 10 minutes each time you've used it. Like anything, just give it a clean and it'll look after you for years to come. Put that on. Sorry if the lighting's not the best in here either, guys. I'll just turn that up to sort of half heat, and I'll come back and show you how easy that is to clean out. Alrighty, let's have a look at this. This has been on now for about probably 9 or 10 minutes. So we'll tip that out. Right, you can see there, now I haven't scrubbed that at all, but you can already see how clean that is inside. So that's just from it boiling water and it boiling the food off. So just a bit of warm water in there. Nothing too hot, because you've got to be able to put your hands in there, obviously. A little bit of water in there, like so. Now this is just I've kept this one for the camp oven. That's why it's black, because I washed it last time and it stayed black like that. So I've just kept it instead of wrecking one every time. But you'll see, without any real pressure on there, that's still hot. Yeah, watch for that. Without any real sort of pressure being applied, that is just all coming off. I'll give it another tip out. So you can see there, as I said, no detergent, no real pressure. I've just run that around the inside, comes off no problem, and if you do have a little bit where it sticks, you can always just use carefully use the back of a teaspoon or a dessert spoon and just give it a light scratch or scrape. Scrape's probably not the right word because it comes off really easy. Just give it a very light go over, just in the corner, like so. A little bit more water. Give that a rub down. As I said, you can see no detergent or any really harsh pot scourers. This is just one of those nylon, it's a sponge one side and a sort of scratchy material. It's not even really a pot scourer on the other side, just from the supermarket. Give that a light rub around like so. I'm just finishing up. And yeah, you can see the water. You can see how the water actually beads off the side because that's been seasoned really well. So the steel, the cast iron, actually has the oil in the pores, and that's where you get the good non-stick cooking from. So just give that a rinse out. Now the only thing you do have to be careful, if you bring your ovens inside to wash and season and clean them, just be careful because all this black soot goes everywhere. It'll stick to your sink, to your chopping boards, to your fingers. It is a bit of a mess. So, but look at that, guys. That's no detergent, no harsh scraping or scourers. That's come up like brand new. Little scale on the side. That's gone. Look at that, it's like a brand new pot again. So what I'm going to do now, I'll give it a final rinse over, and then once I've rinsed all the outside, cleaned all the dust and that black soot off, I'll pat it dry with some paper towel, give it a light spray with some oil, and then just put the lid on and pop it back on the hot plates for a minute or so, and that just not burn, but it sort of cooks the oil into that cast iron and just recoats it each time. And that way, next time it's easy to clean again. So, but as you can see, yeah, the soot's a bugger. So don't get it on your husband or wife or partner or girlfriend or whatever. Don't get it on their good tea towels because you'll be in strife. Wipe over on the bottom as well, through the bottom. Let's give that a light rinse. You can really feel that too on the wall of the oven. You can feel it does actually feel oily, so that's a good way of knowing that your oven's been seasoned right and it's still got that oil in there. So give it a rinse. Give that a dry, like so. Same with the lid. All that water off. Just a little bit of oil. Like so. Light spray. Like so. A bit of paper towel. This stuff's like gold at the moment, so you don't want to go too nuts with it. Just give it a wipe out. Like so. Now you can put that on a hot plate or back on the fire if you wanted to, just to sort of cook that in a little bit. But generally, if you just give it a light wipe over like so, that'll be enough to stop it rusting up by the time you use your camp oven next time. Around like so. It's got a beautiful black shine to it. May not pick up in camera, but there we go, guys. Done and dusted. on the Drifta fire pit. Like so. Not like so. We'll see how we go this time. Might slide that over a bit, like so. Just see if we can get it on there this time. Ah, son of a... All good. That was hot where I sat it on the rocks. And I got no shoes on. Take 3. Ah, and the rocks are still hot.